going on?
Good afternoon, Paul.
Good afternoon. Nothing to say?
Not much going on. Although I on the way out here, Paul, I had a robin fly in front of the truck. So
No kidding.
I guess it's springtime.
Yeah, well, we don't have much snow.
We get a straggler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been an easy winter.
Yeah, not bad. It's been cool, but as far as the snow depth, you're right.
Yeah, we got none.
Yeah, we could use a foot or two.
Yep. So episode 84.
Episode 84.
Yep.
Wow.
We're going to talk about some potential laws and stuff that could be coming to fruition.
Exactly. Yeah, stuff going on in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some things not quite formal yet. They're
Right.
kind of under the radar, but see what happens with it. But so we just posted the first part of Fred and Arthur's video.
That was a very good video, Paul. You did a fantastic job putting it together.
The history stuff really interests me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the premise of this channel is about anyway.
Right.
Kind of traditions but I've always been fascinated with historical aspects of hunting and fishing in Maine and out general. So I've always like Helen Hamlin's books and stuff like that. That stuff's always struck a nerve. Like when I was a kid, I could read 9 Mile Bridge once a year. Yeah. I mean, I like historical stuff like that. And a lot of people could relate.
Exactly. Yeah. Most people, Paul, probably can't relate to that in the sense that in northern Maine, in the big woods of northern Maine, where the deer population was what it was. Yeah. They can't understand that probably because they never lived it or saw it.
No, and I've had people too email me from away, and they can't quite understand. They're like, well, where'd the deer go? They don't just disappear. Right. So like, yeah, they kind of did.
That's exactly what they did.
They have a hard time understanding that. Yeah. There was that many deer, and then there was none. And I was like, yeah, early 2000s was like the lows of the lows. Yeah. We kind of had 3 things working against us. Hard winters, no habitat, and coyotes.
Yeah, the cutting practices had a big, and coyotes, you're right.
And I mean, they can navigate 2 of 3 of those.
Not all 3.
But you get kind of
everything. That is exactly right, Paul. We've always had hard winters. Yeah. But when you keep adding another straw to the camel's layer, back, it gets to the point that it collapses, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah. And we talked about it being the golden age, and some people, if you live downstate right now, you could say the golden age is right now.
Right now, yeah.
Because we killed more deer this year than we ever have. Yep. But it's reversed. It's back in that day, back in the 50s and 60s, the deer were found mostly in the big woods of northern Maine, and now it has swapped to the southern end of the state. So
I was discussing that with Derek yesterday. Yeah, actually, because we're kind of working on our 3rd easy winter now. Right, and it's I guess as outdoorsmen and sportsmen, we're almost never really happy. Like
it always could be better.
That's right. Yeah, and it had kind of come up. Him and I were talking. It's like, the easy winters are good, but there's going to start being some deer surviving that typically wouldn't. Right. And, and I'd said, one reason we have big deer up here is because hard winters. Yeah. And so then you start thinking, well, if they're too easy, right, and we're going to start diluting down the population. But no, a few good easy winters, the numbers have really bounced back good. And I mean, even down below the house here, they're still all through the field everywhere.
I will be very interested to see what the kill is up here, Paul, when they start breaking it down by township and stuff, comparing it to the last 10 years. Yeah, I got to believe that we know it's up statewide, but I got to believe that there was a big jump up here too. Yeah. So
we saw deer pretty well everywhere we went.
We did, and we know a lot of people who harvested deer. So yeah.
And around the house here, like there's lots of deer. But boys, I think we're lacking bucks around.
Yeah, that would be the one thing, and we'll get into that when one of the things I think we're going to talk about, Paul, is an extension of the muzzle loading season, and that I don't know if that would be a good thing up here, but we'll get into that. I could see, and it's just grumblings of that right now, right? And that was something else that Derek and I talked about yesterday. It's come up before. I think in maybe 10 or so years ago, it was kind of being talked about then. And so did he, and maybe I shouldn't delve into this this early in the podcast, but did he say working for the department, how the department felt on that? Did they? No, not specifically. No? Okay. He just had expressed kind of the same reservations I did, the advantages and disadvantages. And, there are some disadvantages there. Yeah, and we'll get into that in a minute. Especially up this far north. Yeah, you could have one year where it just kind of could turn everything in a dime. Yeah. If snow conditions were right. One thing I got to add too is I got some new merch up. I got some new hats on the. Oh yeah, is that black, Paul? Yeah, this is black with a white emblem. I think a gray one, and there'll be some other things popping up periodically, but so those are on there. Yeah. Trying to think anything else newsworthy that I had. I guess nothing in particular. I guess we can jump right into there's kind of 4 big things that I think one of them we talked about before. Nothing really new with it, but we'll start right off with the first one. Possible additional muzzleloader week, which a lot of southern districts have 2 weeks. Exactly. Muzzleloader season. We've got 1. Yeah, and I assume the reason for that, Paul, is they're actually, over the last few years, have tried to harvest more deer so they could extend that week in the southern part of the state, where they felt, up here, we didn't need the extra pressure on the deer herd up here, that 1 week was enough. So, so it's not official. There's no formal, but it's just kind of, from what I understand, and it was Gary, actually, Drinkwater, that he's a representative from Milford, that had kind of mentioned it to me. Yeah, so they sent that proposal or that idea to the Inland Fisheries and Wildlife. Okay. The committee in the legislature, and what I read, Paul, was the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife was supposed to have some sort of detailed report by the 1st of January, 2026. Okay. Yep. Back to the committee, and I haven't heard what that report is. All right. So, but they said it was, and maybe you could go in. They said it was dependent on how severe the winters were in different wildlife management districts. So it wasn't across the state. It would be district by district. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Which makes sense. Because on the flip side, it gives hunters more opportunity to hunt. Extra week of deer hunting, everyone likes that. But the big reservation is that muzzleloader week, especially in northern Maine. I mean, some years you can get a lot of snow, and you get deer, especially with the advent of people feeding deer in towns. Yeah, you get deer migrating a long ways. They all congregate onto these trails. Yeah, once we get lots of snow. And people will line those migration trails, and it becomes like a turkey shoot. Yeah. 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 That is exactly right, Paul. And even then, you're so deep into the season, you're into the middle of December, whether you have hard, deep snow or hard conditions, they've still moved into those yards and stuff. And then, like I say, you get deer congregated into a small area, hunters congregated into that small area. And we've seen it before. Yeah, we have. I mean, there's been years that where you almost don't even want to hunt. Right. Because you're just, they're all, it congests, like you said, it congests the hunters and the deer. And the deer are all, and man, there's some years, people shooting big deer. And just like one guy shot a deer, the deer didn't want to leave the road. Right. We had 20 plus inches of snow.
he basically tracked the deer down the road. It would run off the road, but it would come right back. He ended up shooting it.
Yeah.
It just didn't want to leave the road.
Yeah. So like you say, we've already had that those concerns with just one muzzle loading week. You know, I can remember years that people say, hey, you need to close down the season up here because it's not really a hunt anymore. You know, like I say, the deer are congregated into the yards, and that's where the hunters are and stuff. And
so, that's an option that
puts a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah. I mean, that's an option that the state could do, but usually by that time, that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
You know, if you get the season shut down,
right,
you've already,
you've
already crossed that.
But where they could navigate it, it sounded like, like I say, it wasn't something they were going to do across the entire state. They were going to take it district by district. And if the winters weren't too severe or whatever, the weather wasn't too severe, they could add a district or whatever.
Yeah, like the past 2 years, it would be a non-issue. They're still running around chasing does and stuff that time of year.
Yeah.
One thing that I was talking to Derek about it, and I didn't realize this, but he'd mentioned like he was down in Pennsylvania, and they've got like a flintlock only season.
Oh yeah, a true.
Yeah, and I'm like, geez, that I like stuff like that because it kind of gives everyone their own, their own little. If someone wants to hunt the super traditional,
right?
Because let's face it, muzzleloaders are not what they used to be.
No.
They're about as close to a rifle as
you can get,
without it being
all you'd have to do is load it from the muzzle.
Yeah,
that's it.
So you get people that they still want to hunt traditionally, and I thought that was a good thing. I don't think it's very long. I think it's just a few days or a week or whatever in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It kind of gives those guys their own time to hunt.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on the.
Yeah, I am too, Paul. Yeah. 5 weeks, that's a lot of hunting. 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm pretty sure, like I say, the reason there was an extra week down south was they just felt that the herd could sustain that.
Yeah.
They wanted to kill more deer down there.
Yep.
So.
So, all right, the next one. This was one you brought up. That mentioned to me. There's a fly fishing only lawsuit that was brought up by a family.
Yeah.
In southern Maine, and the premise of it is they want to get rid of fly fishing only bodies of water because they feel that it's discriminatory, or it only allows for, or they say that fly fishermen tend to be wealthier people,
right?
With more time.
Yes. Yeah.
So they say fly fishing is hard to learn. It takes more time. Some people may not have the time to learn it.
Right.
And two, they might not be able to afford to do it.
Right.
I got a lot I could say about that.
Yeah. Yeah. One. Certainly. I don't think that's, and of course, once it's in the courts, who knows? But
they say they're using the right to food language.
Right to food law.
Yeah.
And that's being used in a lot of different. We'll get into that deeper too. The right to food law, that's being used in a few issues in the state. So, but I read an article. David Trahan, the head of SAM, he was against it. And the department's against it. They're suing the commissioner, the department.
Yeah.
Down in, it's in Superior Court, the Kennebec Superior Court down in Augusta. And it's really being, you said it was, I can't remember the name of the family, Paul, down in Waterville.
Yeah, I had it. I figured it wasn't important.
Yeah.
It wasn't
But the, what was it called? The Theodore Roosevelt?
Yeah.
An organization that, is sponsoring that lawsuit.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it brings up so many things there. So, the first one is, okay, they're saying that some people can't afford to fly fish. Fly fishing gear does not have to be expensive.
$50 at Walmart will get you an outfit.
My
complete outfit.
Good buddy of mine. And this was 30 years ago now.
Yeah.
25 years ago. He wanted to get into fly fishing. He bought a this was then, late 90s, $50 outfit.
Yeah.
And learned how to fly fish with it. And to this day, it's still his favorite, because there's a lot of sentimental aspects to it. He's bought much nicer gear since then.
Yeah.
Orvis Helios rods, whole 9 yards. He still will dig out that $50 kit.
Yeah.
Because that's what he learned to fish with. And he fished the heck out of that for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah. So your Uncle Mike did the same thing.
Berkeley cherrywood.
He always joked about his Berkeley cherrywood. He fished with that.
Those are,
and caught lots of fish.
And he had sage rods. But there's always something about your
first rod,
what you cut your teeth with. The time thing, it takes more time to learn.
No.
Blah, blah, blah. First and foremost, time's finite. We all have the same amount of time.
Right.
If you really want to learn something, you'll find time to do it. Look at your phone. See how many hours a day you spend on your phone.
Exactly.
You can find time to, if you really want it bad enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, like I say, I don't see that, Paul. I don't see that happening. I hope I'm right, but
no, I don't think it'll gain traction, but you never know.
The world we live in. It's right. It's in, you just need to have a judge decide that.
We get these idea that we're oppressed for one reason or another.
Right.
And it's like, you look at this and it's like, okay, so where do you stop it? So you want no fly fishing only, use anything. Well, won't we just let us all use dynamite?
Exactly.
Let us all use gill nets.
You're right. Where do you draw the line?
Like,
I mean, and
forget this.
Did you talk to Derek about that? I'm sure Derek.
I didn't. No, we get talking
up his alley there.
Yeah, that would be. He's a fisheries.
Yeah, that's his wheelhouse. So,
but I mean, one of the biggest reasons for it is to preserve the fishery.
Right.
I mean, a lot of these fisheries can't take that sort of pressure.
Well, you get into the mortality rate if you use bait or lures,
treble hooks.
Right. The mortality rate of catch and release goes way up, even if you release the fish. And I think with fly fishing, it's down in the single digits, and it could get up to 30% with lures. And so that's a concern.
And not just that, it's a less efficient way to catch fish.
Yeah.
Fly fishing.
Yeah.
As opposed to dunking a worm or something like that. Some of these places you could just hammer.
Yeah.
With a worm rod and and then you look at, okay, so you don't want fly fishing only. Well, what about waters? And I know they were saying they weren't addressing this, but still it just opens up that
down the road,
that Pandora's box. You're like, okay, we've got catch and release waters because we want some trophy waters. Kind of the idea is there's a little bit for everybody, right? Maybe you get a kid that just wants to catch fish, right? Go to a brook or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who's a little more experienced, they want to catch big fish.
Right.
We've got that opportunity here because of catch and release trophy ponds. There's a little bit of everything. The other thing with the whole right to food thing, Maine has got so much water.
Yes.
I can go anywhere and dunk a worm in like a 5 minutes drive from wherever I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to find a place to fish. You can
spin fish
however you want to fish.
Right.
It's matter of fact, you got to work harder to find a fly fishing only pond.
Yeah.
Or body of water.
Yeah. There's in Maine, I think, Paul, maybe around 200 FFO ponds in Maine and stuff. And like you say, I think you could find 6,000 ponds and lakes with brook trout in them in the state of Maine that you can do whatever, do whatever you want. Or out of those 6,000, there may be 200 that are fly fishing only. So,
and the other thing, and I've talked about this over the years on this channel, is Maine is very unique in the number of bodies of water that have native populations of brook trout.
In the lower 48,
we've got more in this one state,
than
all the states on the eastern seaboard combined.
Exactly.
And like Maine they've done a good job. A lot of it has to do with and I think I'm going to mention it here in a little bit. Maine always seems to be lagging behind the rest of the country in what we'd call progress.
Right.
With things. I've seen it in the professional world with licensing and stuff like that. Maine always seems to be kind of behind the rest of the nation. But this, in my opinion, is kind of with the fisheries and stuff. They didn't make the mistakes a lot of other states had made as far as stocking and stuff like that. We've preserved our fishery quite well.
Right.
And we're pretty fortunate.
Yeah. You know, and that's what we have a inland fisheries and wildlife for, and biologists to assess this and to, you know, suggest regulations that to protect anything to, you know.
Yeah.
And they're up against enough that, you know, I think of the illegal introduction of other, you know, non-native species of fish that have affected and are going to affect the brook trout up here in a big way.
Yep.
The white perch in the, for instance, in the Fish River chain of lakes. Yeah. And then you're dealing with water quality issues you have very little control over with wood harvesting and things like that. It's hard to manage, especially a cold water species like brook trout. But
it is, and there's a balancing act because there's give and take.
Yeah,
you know, they want to keep the people of the state happy,
right?
But they also want their decisions to be data driven, not emotionally driven.
They want to make good, sound decisions for the resource, right?
You know, just because someone's mad about something or they perceive it as not being fair, you got to make that decision based on. You got to make sound judgment.
Right.
And then use everything together. So like one thing that I was thinking of was, so I mean, we could just say, you know, another regulatory thing is ice fishing. Like, you know, can a body of water take ice fishing pressure in addition to, you know, that's all weighed. And you look at like our home lake, they would like to open it to ice fishing. And I suspect they've got the data to support that, right?
Yeah.
That would be fine.
Yeah, I think it was, it has such a population of white perch now that...
but they don't because of camp owner perception, and they don't want to step on the you know, hurt the public, the relationship with the public in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
So there's always a balancing act, you know, going on there. If you just look at that, you look at hunting season, and so we've got the same sort of specialty regs in hunting season. There's a bow season.
Yeah.
You know, there's, and like I'd mentioned in Pennsylvania, a flintlock only season.
Right.
Which I wouldn't do, but I think it's great to have opportunities for people to get out there without.
And you got to assume they can afford to do that because it's not going to put a lot of pressure. There's not going to be, number one, a lot of people that do it, probably, I'm guessing. And those that do it are probably, you know, it's a little tougher to take a deer with a traditional flintlock. So
think of some of the conditions we've deer hunted in. It's obviously less reliable as far as moisture and snow and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's going to add an extra layer of complexity to your deer hunt, which some people are looking for.
Yep.
Whatever phase of deer hunting you're in, maybe you've had 4 or 5 really good seasons and you want to, you know, try something different, make it a little more of a challenge.
Yep.
So you do something like that.
That would be more of a challenge for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So that definitely can get in, mess with the IF&W's management goals and stuff. Big time.
Big time.
Yep.
I mean, basically you'd say, what are you there for?
Yeah.
You know, if you can't come up with regulations to protect the resource, what are you there for? Yep. You know, and that's why they're there.
Yeah.
And I think they do a good job. Like I say, they get a lot of things going against them that
they do. I mean,
out of their control, and you don't need to make it more difficult. So,
like I love talking to Derek about. He's a fisheries biologist.
Yeah.
Retired now.
Yeah.
I just love talking to him about different.
Yeah. We've seen, and so you and I, we've seen it firsthand. Yeah. And it was always fun. And I believe in them. Like I say, I believe in what they do and that they do it in the best interest of, number one, the resource, and then number two, the people. What can the resource, take? What type of pressure can it take and still survive? Yeah. Still maintain?
Well, because most of those guys are outdoorsmen themselves. Yeah. They want to. Yeah. They want to have this resource available to fish. So when you've got a little skin in the game, you're not only doing it for the public, but you're protecting your interests as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It was always fun going with them. Yeah. You learn so much.
Yeah. Like I say, we've seen it firsthand.
Different point of view. Yeah. And they get a lot of data that most people are never even going to know about. No,
exactly. Exactly. That's what they do. They're scientists.
Yeah. I had a funny story about, I don't know if I told you this. I think it was a trip, Quebec or Labrador, or I forget where it was. And, of course, the guides.
I know the story. Yeah. But you can tell it.
Maybe you're there with, maybe he was telling us.
No, I think I heard it from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, when you go with an outfit, they're going to tell you kind of sugarcoat things. Oh yeah, it's a nice 5-pound brook trout. Yeah. And Derek has weighed
a lot of fish.
Hundreds of, probably millions.
Yeah.
I mean.
That's what he did.
And
creel senses.
He looked at the guy, and the guy had said something to that source that, it was X number of pounds. And he kind of looked at him. He's like, I've weighed a lot of fish. He's like, this is not. He's like, oh yeah. And of course, Derek's like, well, I got a scale right here. Let's handy with them.
And Derek was right.
Yeah. He was pretty well spot on with how much it weighed. And I had to laugh because our trip to Labrador, you kind of experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
Land a trout. Like, oh yeah, that's a good 5-pounder. That's a weird looking 5-pounder.
Yeah, they want to make you feel good.
I've got some big fish.
You're spending a lot of money to feel good. So yeah.
So what we've talked about before is that whole proposed right to hunt and fish constitutional amendment.
Right.
That's still in progress. Right. Yeah. That's got to end up going to what has to get 2/3.
2/3 in the legislature. LD 820, I think it is, Paul, and it has to. They said it has a pretty high bar to hurdle to get over.
Does it?
To get to, it needs 2/3 of the legislature, and then it goes to referendum in the fall.
To be voted on.
Yeah.
So that was one that, of course, has been on my radar.
Yeah.
I think it's a good addition to have, but again, that can kind of get into the legal system influencing conservation efforts and stuff like that. We start mixing those two.
You're right, and I read an article, and the department's not against it in so much as some of the verbiage or the wordage is kind of open-ended, and it can open up a can of worms down the road. It can be interpreted maybe down the road in different ways. But
so I think
I read an article where the Deputy Commissioner Tim Peabody, he like I say, he didn't say they were against it so much as they had to be careful on how this was worded. It was introduced by Elizabeth Caruso out of Caratunk, I think.
Okay.
That LD 820.
Yeah, because it's almost, I don't want to say you have to predict the future, but you got to see kind of down the road, like where could this go?
Yeah.
It's great. Your construct for it, or your concept for it up front is great, but then still you start kind of teasing things out on where could this grow some tentacles to become
their concern.
Nasty. And one of them that I thought of was, there was some wording in there. Our hunting and fishing isn't eroded by excessive regulation.
Right.
And one thing that brought me back to the fly fishing only thing. It's like, okay, we don't want excessive regulation.
That could be considered excessive regulation.
Where do we draw the line on what's excessive regulation? Right. So we go back to our fly fishing only waters, excessive regulation, or catch and release only excessive regulation. And you can the more you think about something.
Yeah, that like I say, it was generally worded, and I think that's where the department, Mr. Peabody, had the problem with it. It
could complicate scientific decision making.
Yeah,
is what it boils down to. It can make cause some problems that you'd never Never foresee.
And some say that it's already, in your right to food, it's already in that. Your right to hunt and fish, to procure food. So, yeah.
Man, we overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
When you start looking at this stuff, you're like, gosh, does it have to be this?
Yeah, and there again, you had talked about Maine is kind of lacking in a lot of things, or behind.
Yeah.
And that's how this came about. This Miss Caruso, she looked at, we were one of the few states that didn't have that in their constitution.
Yeah.
So she thought, Maine being a very traditional hunting and fishing state, that it ought to be in our constitution, and maybe it should.
Maine has always been lacking. And of course, professionally, I saw it a lot, because it was like, okay, all these other states, there's this going on, there's that going on. And it was like a no-brainer. It's like, my God, Maine, get with the program here.
Yeah.
But I'm not so gung-ho with more traditional side of things, the traditional values of Maine. It's good to hold off on that stuff, figure it all out before.
Yeah.
Because you never know where you'll end up. The other one that you brought up to me is go back to the Sunday hunting thing.
That's an issue that's just never going to die.
It's always there.
Yeah. 39 times, and they said in the last 45 years, that's been brought to the legislature, and of course it's been denied 39 times. But they said the last time it wasn't far off.
Yeah.
From passing. So.
And you'd mentioned, and I didn't realize it, you said that Maine is one of 2 states left.
Massachusetts and Maine are the only states.
Massachusetts and Maine.
Yeah.
The only ones that don't have Sunday hunting.
Yeah.
So you feel like it's just a
matter of time
before.
A lot of people, and this isn't me speaking, but I've read that a lot of people believe it's a matter of time before it happens.
I'm truly like 50-50 with it. I see the positives and I see the negatives. Just personally, the negatives for me are, I'm not going to take Sunday off. If they let Sunday hunting happen, it's going to be very hard for me to be like, I'm not hunting today, or
especially if you get a new snow Saturday night, you're probably going to be out there Sunday morning.
Probably when I was younger, I wouldn't be able to wrap my mind around that. But like, I enjoy that kind of one day break for travel, or it just takes the pressure off of enjoy camp life a little bit.
Right.
And I know we've talked about this before, but people that do it professionally for guiding or whatnot, it's a great turnover period.
Transition day.
Your guests go out, new guests come in.
New guests come in.
You've got time to, and Jason talked about it at Chandler Lake.
Yeah.
He's like, a lot of hunters come in Sunday, and he's got a skeet shooting range and can't hunt on Sunday. It's a good day to go out and shoot, get familiar with your gun.
Socialize.
Yeah. Get to know each other. Think of about a bunch of new guys at camp.
Yeah. Spend the day together. People
from different areas, and they all kind of get a day to get oriented with one another and who's who, and maybe build a little friendship there before the week starts, especially during deer season. That's the value I see in not having Sunday hunting. But on the flip side, people that work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
If they rifle hunt, they've got what? 4
days.
5, is it?
Yeah, 4 or 5 days they can hunt.
Out of the season. That's not much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they sit there on Sunday twiddling their thumbs, wishing they could have some time to hunt, and they can't.
Yeah. Yeah. So the last one was they talked about was Pennsylvania just passed a law where you can hunt on Sunday. And to clarify that too, oftentimes a lot of these states don't have it may be specific to a certain area or to a certain species of game. It's not carte blanche. It's not whatever you can hunt Sunday wherever. And sometimes other species are off the table, or other methods that
hasn't Maine tried the angle of like landowners?
Yeah, they've tried a lot of different,
being allowed to hunt on Sunday on their property,
on their own property. Yeah. There again, specific areas.
Yeah.
I think they talked about areas on one side of Route 9 and Route 2 being open.
Okay. Yep.
So it's very much a north-south issue. The north being for it, people living in the north. The people, the more metropolitan, urban people down south, they don't want it.
All right.
Hunters want it, by and large, but the real issue there, Paul, is the landowners are so against it that, and this is the major reason that a Sunday law hasn't been passed. The landowners are so against it that the department and everything is worried that they have threatened to close their land off.
And that's a real fear.
A lot of landowners have said if we get Sunday hunting, we're going to post our land.
Yep.
And so that's always been a big concern because you have snowmobile trails and stuff and ATV trails, and we can access private land without permission if it's not posted. So that really is the sticking point with the Sunday hunting issue.
And I would take access over Sunday hunting any day of the week.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
So that's, if access stayed the same, hunters are all for it.
Yeah.
But that number switches when the hunters realize that they may lose access. Then all of a sudden, there's a majority of them that don't want Sunday hunting. So it's a complicated issue that, like you say, it's not going away anytime soon. It's not going away. Sam is for it. Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine is for it, and in some form or fashion.
Sunday hunting?
Sunday hunting. The Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife isn't.
Okay.
For that reason, it's the landowner issue that is a real sticking point.
All right. Yeah, I can see that would be.
Yeah. And that's really, the landowners have really, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm like you, I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
If they did it, fine. If they don't, I prefer access over Sunday hunting, which most sportsmen do.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I don't have a problem with the way things are right now. It's like, an extra day would be nice in certain circumstances, but.
Yeah, so the head of that is a Jared Bornstein from Hush. Okay. Hunters United for Sunday Hunting. He's,
any relationship to Joe Bornstein?
Probably. I have no idea.
You look good in a neck brace, you can sue.
Yeah. That's
not Joe Bornstein, I don't think.
That's the guy, and the last I heard, they're kind of going to lay low for just a little bit until there's a new governor and new legislature, and they'll be at it again. Yeah. They'll try again, and like I say, if all things being equal, if things stayed the way they were, I have no problem with Sunday hunting. But but the landowner component there, that they're so against it.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is, and that's really been the thing that has stopped it from happening. So
it's kind of, and it's hard you kind of got to do a little work to find the stuff out.
Right.
A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you never really know about without, and it really is a signal on, when you start teasing this stuff out on the direction that Maine's headed. These are kind of all interrelated in the sense that one is access. You want access to be relatively easy, whether it be to participate in fishing.
Right.
So if you limit access by having it too restrictive, then you get low recruitment of younger people doing this, which will fizzle out your outdoor heritage, your outdoor traditions. If fewer people are picking it up. So you want to reduce the barrier to entry as much as possible.
Most people are like us too, Paul. We hunt on private land.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. We're fortunate we have millions of acres that are available to us through large landowners and stuff that, you wouldn't want to see that. And I'm not saying that Sunday hunting issue that would be a problem with the large landowners. I know it is with the smaller woodlot owners.
Yeah.
So. I'm not so sure about the large landowners. But the thing of it is, we all hunt on, or most of us hunt on somebody else's land, on private land.
So the second point with all these is conservation. So you can't have access without restraint.
Right.
There's got to be some sort of restraint there.
Yeah.
Through whether it's some sort of regs.
Yeah.
So whether it be fly fishing only, or, not open to ice fishing, or bucks only.
Right.
It's a balancing act from everything from just being willy-nilly, open, do what you want, to nothing.
Yeah, this isn't 1750 or whatever, there's...
Then you get tradition. So you always got to consider, local values and what people's take are on this stuff. Balance that out with on which way these should go. And then the science, can the resources handle such a change, and what's it going to look like down the road as far as affecting the resource?
Yeah.
So, it's always, you can read it at face value and think it's a great idea.
Exactly.
But then you
Sunday hunting, why not?
Yeah.
And then you look at all the implications, like I say, and there are implications.
Yeah, it complicates it big time.
That you have to consider. So, yeah.
And so, and we kind of mentioned a little while ago, you can't just pass laws based on emotion.
No.
Because you're ticked because someone has an opportunity that you don't, because you don't use that method.
Right.
And on the flip side, you just can't have traditions dictate, well, this is the way we've always done it, so we're going to, things change.
Yeah.
The environment changes.
Hard to keep everybody happy.
It is.
That's for sure. You're not gonna make everybody happy.
No.
So they try, and I think they do a good job of.
I wouldn't want the job.
Everybody, no, I wouldn't either. Giving everybody a piece anyway, and so.
Yeah. So any reactionary law, I'm kind of like, we don't need to react. We need to tease everything out and go from there. Don't pick sides.
That's where the anti-hunting that not based on science, totally based on emotion, and there's no logic or science to.
No, and you can't argue with them because it's like arguing with someone who says the earth is flat.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're more than welcome to believe that.
Yeah. They're going 100% on emotion. And so.
But anything else to add?
No, not a thing. Like you say, that winter's going along. We're 18th of January now.
Yeah.
So I would say we're over half done winter.
Yep.
And deer can move about wherever they want.
We're almost at the point now where
it could get bad.
Anything could happen.
Yeah, the only thing we've had some cold weather, and they burn a lot of calories when it gets below zero. So we have had cold weather, but
all right, I feel like there's something else I wanted to say, but it'll come to me next time. So all right, I guess that's all she wrote. Until next time, get outside.
It's good for the soul.
See ya.